Owning a McDonald's franchise can be a lucrative business. It has been estimated that McDonald's franchisees' net profits average about $1.8 million per restaurant in the US. Some of those franchise locations, like that in Orlando, the largest Mickey D's on the planet, surpass that number tenfold. Meanwhile, all over the world, from Australia to Hong Kong and everywhere in between, McDonald's locations are being more luxurious, more enticing, and more money-grabbing with every Big Mac sold. But it's not just Hong Kong that can dish up a unique Happy Meal in Roswell, New Mexico. The McDonald's has been built with an out-of-this-world theme, literally in the shape of a UFO, and in Independence, Ohio, fancy chandeliers line the franchise's ceiling, and in Taupo, New Zealand, the quarter pounders are far from plain. Pun intended, you'll see what we mean. Despite no longer holding the record for the most individual franchise locations around the world, it can't be denied that McDonald's, Macca's, Mickey D's, or whatever we might call it, is still the world's most famous fast food chain, and with every passing McNugget sold, their reputation only grows. Typically, the total investment necessary to begin operation of a traditional McDonald's franchise ranges from $1,008,000 to $2,214,080. However, as you're about to see with these fancy locations, that number can surge significantly higher when luxury is involved. Inside the most luxury McDonald's. Quinoa, ambient lighting, and Perrier. They're certainly not synonymous with fast food giant McDonald's, but if a new concept being tested out in Hong Kong proves successful, that could change. A branch was renovated last year into what the company called McDonald's Next. Here, a burger and fries are delivered to customers' tables on a cutting board with real metal utensils, not plastic. McDonald's did not respond to inquiries for its future plans for the concept, but here's what we observed during a recent visit. Number 1. The food is fancy. While an old-fashioned Big Mac is certainly an option at McDonald's Next, a fancier burger is probably a better option. We ordered a burger on a brioche bun, complete with caramelized onions, truffle-flavored sauce, and grilled pineapple. A burger, fries, and salty caramel latte cost $8.92. Number 2. Your food comes to you. In the evenings, customers have the option of getting their fast food delivered to their table. At checkout, customers take a table card, find a seat, and an employee then brings the items to them. Number 3. Juice up with its wireless chargers. Tables here have multiple wireless chargers, wherein guests can place their phone on a charger for free without the use of any cords. The tables also have USB ports for charging too. Number 4. Save some room for dessert. At the McCafe counter within McDonald's, the dessert menu boasts items from cakes made on-site to sweet potato ice cream sundae served on a waffle. There are also signs which show where its coffee beans originate from, which include Guatemala, Sumatra, and Ethiopia. McDonald's also sells bags of its coffee beans so customers can brew at home. Number 5. Wash up next to the counter. Instead of hunting down a bathroom when you really just want to freshen up, which at some locations could involve asking for a key, punching in a door code, or even paying, even if you're a paying customer, McDonald's Next offers a hand-washing station in the center of its restaurant. The automated experience starts the moment you put your hands under the faucet. First, soapy water is dispensed, followed by regular water to rinse, and then it ends with a paper towel dispensing from the top of the station. Whether you're ready or not, the experience happens. McDonald's operates more than 36,000 restaurants worldwide, and there's nothing particularly unique about most of them. In fact, part of the draw of those golden arches is that you know exactly what you're going to get. For the most part, a Big Mac tastes like a Big Mac no matter what state or country you visit. You can expect fast service, free ketchup packets, and boring red and yellow decor. But among the thousands of McDonald's restaurants, there are a few that stand out. You'll find some that are nestled in unusual locations, some that have extraordinary facades or interiors, and even some that offer entertainment. These luxurious McDonald's restaurants may not exactly provide a fine dining experience, but they are definitely worth a visit if you find yourself nearby. No matter which city, country, or continent we call home, a 6-pack of McNuggets and a Quarter Pounder are never too far away. Despite no longer holding the record for the most individual franchise locations around the world, it can't be denied that McDonald's, Macca's, Mickey D's, or whatever we might call it, is still the world's most famous fast food chain. With thousands of locations worldwide, there are bound to be a handful that caters more towards the elite crowd. Some of these Golden Arches establishments are even deemed worthy of a visit by some of the world's most high-profile celebs. The inaugural McDonald's restaurant was founded back in 1937 in San Bernardino, California, which still stands today as a museum. Therefore, it seems only fitting that we kick off our fancy fast food journey in the vast, burger-centric nation of the United States. When sitting in a 4-walled restaurant becomes a little too mainstream and conventional, why not opt for something with a touch more flair and character, like a commercial airliner, for example? That's exactly what this New Zealand McDonald's branch decided to do after acquiring the plane back in 1990. Situated down under, specifically, the Melbourne, Australia suburb of Clifton Hill, this Macca's, yes, Australians shorten everything including McDonald's, sits inside a traditional Art Deco hotel, which was originally built in the late 1930s. Considering that the town is synonymous with alleged alien appearances and unconfirmed UFO sightings, it should come as no surprise to us that Roswell, New Mexico's McDonald's has been built with an out-of-this-world theme. Aliens can appreciate a juicy Big Mac too, people. McDonald's establishments are no stranger to train station interiors around the world, having fed rushing commuters with rapidly prepared breakfast wraps and orange juice for decades. However, this particular railway station in Budapest deserves a special mention. Fancy Fast Food Tour is the behemoth of a city, Dallas, where this building treads a fine line between luxurious and straight up tacky. We'll let you be the judge on that one. As the famous saying goes, everything is bigger in Texas, and this McDonald's location does no harm in supporting that cliche. The upscale North Hempstead neighborhood along New York's Long Island, this McDonald's is conjuring up some undeniable low-budget Great Gatsby vibes. The building is known as Denton House and has centuries of history associated with it. According to Newsday, it was initially built in 1795 as a farmhouse before being converted into a Georgian mansion a handful of decades later. Talks about a fancy McDonald's, huh? This is a style we might see in the future. In fact, this McDonald's in Hong Kong is called McDonald's Next. The plan is to create a modern and progressive McDonald's. What makes McDonald's that much more unique is that different countries tend to put their own twists on not only the menu, but the ambiance as well. As of 2018, McDonald's is in over 101 countries, spanning 36,000 locations. Not to mention, they're serving 69 million people per day. Many have tried to rival this juggernaut, but unfortunately, it usually comes to no avail as the fast food restaurant remains the desired option universally. What makes McDonald's that much more unique is that different countries tend to put their own twists on not only the menu, but the ambiance of the entire location as well. Over in Europe and places like China, they take the ambiance to another level. Take the McDonald's Next as an example. This was an attempt to create a futuristic McDonald's with a high-class spin. We'll feature the location to start the article. Perhaps one day we'll be seeing all the locations with a similar decor. For the time being, we're still ways away, especially in Canada and the US. This is the inside the most luxury McDonald's.